everyone. How you doing today? You good? It's great to be here in honour of CRY and to help spread the word because it is a very important message.
So you're here at BOA today for a good cause. What is today all about?
It's to raise awareness for a charity that I'm a patron of, which is called CRY. And I first heard about CRY about 4 or 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I bought a new pair of shoes. I got a new attitude and and I think it's just really important that especially young people should be more aware of it because it happens to so many young people every day, every week, and it's basically where any fit, young, healthy person like you and I can just fall down dead and no one knows the reason for it, and not many people know about CRY and the support that it gives and what you can do to prevent this, that you can get scanned and you can find out if you've got like a heart defect and then you can monitor it so you don't get in this situation. But it's happened to a lot of young people, so I think as a young person I should try to help spread the word.
Tonight, and we'll be dancing and singing and climbing up on the table. We'll be rocking this party, so tell the DJ don't stop. Grab someone if you're single.
But you can prevent this by getting your heart scanned, and then you can monitor it so it doesn't happen. And I feel like more people need to know about this because before I heard about it, obviously I didn't have a clue about it. I don't think my friends did. So I think it's really important to make sure there's more awareness about this because it happens all the time.
Yeah, so how are you involved?
I basically just do what I can, like to help raise awareness. So I've done like a charity sale before, I've done shows, I've come to visit different schools because obviously that's where a lot of young people are, so that's a good place to go. Just any sort of help that I can. I've been working closely with the founder of it, Alison. She's the loveliest lady ever. She's so lovely.
Tomorrow doesn't matter when you're moving your feet. It's all about tonight.
Venue. First and foremost, my name is Pete Teal. I am an area representative for cardiac risk in the young. I do this purely voluntary, okay? And I just want to hit you with one fact before I start my story. Every week in the UK, at least, and I mean this very sincerely, at least 12 young, apparently fit and healthy adults aged between 14 and 35 die, okay? They die playing football, they die in their sleep, and they die of undetected heart conditions, okay? And unfortunately, on a normal Monday night on September the 14th, 2009, I spent an evening with my two daughters. They had their friends round. They were playing records, CDs, whatever in the back, eating bags of sweets. They've been to the pictures. They're not long come back from a holiday in Salou. All our normal family life. Okay, I went to bed that night at 22:11 and I said goodnight to my two daughters. Don't forget to lock up. Don't forget to put the dogs in the kitchen and turn all the lights off. A normal dad's thing that he says to his two children. What was to follow is nothing but tragedy because that next morning, I got up that next morning, went downstairs and my daughter's light was on in her bedroom. I didn't really think anything of that because that had happened in the past. I did chunt her to myself because I thought, I've told her to turn them lights off and that's a dad thing. Okay, but I went to work that morning and unfortunately about 20 to 12 I had a phone call saying, Pete, you need to get home. They can't wake your daughter up. And I thought, what do you mean they can't wake my daughter up? And obviously I put the phone down and I sort of went quite shocked. They can't wake my daughter up. So I get to my car. At first I hesitated because I thought, because we played tricks on each other, Zoe and I thought it was a wind-up and I thought she was winding her sister up. But I got in my car, as a dad does, and I went home. And that journey home, that Tuesday afternoon, or lunchtime should I say, was the longest journey in my life, okay? I actually got home within about 35, 40 minutes. It was quite quick. From Stourbridge back to Cheslin Hay was quite a tricky journey. When I turned the corner onto my estate, my whole world ended because there was paramedics outside my house. There was police cars. There was cars parked everywhere because they couldn't get past. And I walked in to be greeted by two police officers who said, Mr. Teal, we've got some really bad news for you. Your daughter's been found dead in bed. So you can imagine that it's just complete and utter my world had fell apart. I couldn't believe that, you know, a young girl the night before that had laughed and joked with me had been found dead in bed. The initial questions that the police asked me was, did she take drugs? Did she drink? Did she abuse herself? And all these things, which is always a natural questions that police officers ask these days. There's never, does she ever suffer from heart conditions or anything like that? There's never anything like that. It's always the obvious. I wasn't allowed to see Zoe. There was sort of like police officers and coroners, and obviously it was like, well, we were just told to sit in the front room. I was eventually allowed up to see Zoe, and it's not the nicest thing as a parent can ever imagine, believe you me, seeing your daughter lying there dead in bed. Okay, that was awful. And that day, they'll always live with me till the day that I die. Okay. So, Zoe was taken away and a post-mortem was taken on. And unfortunately, by the Friday, there was no outcome of Zoe's death. They couldn't detect a reason why. So I asked the coroner exactly why. I needed to know why does a young girl die? Zoe was a fitness instructor. She was a competitive swimmer. She looked after herself. She drank very rarely, didn't smoke, didn't abuse her body. So why has this happened? So I Googled SADS, because he told me this was a condition called SADS, which is sudden adult death. And obviously I got through to a charity called CRY. On that day, Alison Cox, the founder of CRY, actually picked the phone up and answered me, and she guided me all the way through this, what I should do, how to go about it, what questions I should ask. And it's sort of like, it was amazing, the support that she gave me. She even arranged for Zoe's heart to be taken to a pathology lab with cardiac risk in the young under the brilliant Mary Shepherd. Mary Shepherd did a separate post-mortem on Zoe's heart, and we did get an outcome. Unfortunately, we had to have Zoe buried. The funeral went ahead, and like as a parent, to bury your child before you is just it just doesn't happen, or it shouldn't happen. Anyway, Zoe was buried, and then obviously CRY and under the wonderful Professor Sharma wanted Zoe's immediate family to be fast-tracked down to Lewisham. So we were taken down to Lewisham and we were doing all the tests and everything down there. It was a whole day of heart tests, and obviously it was just to make sure that nobody immediate family was at risk. Unfortunately, my wife was detected with the condition that Zoe died of, and she didn't know about it. Just going back to Zoe never had any heart condition, not we knew of. She never showed symptoms. She didn't have palpitations. She didn't pass out. She was just a normal, fit child. And as I said, 12 young adults die like this a week. CRY have been there for me, and I've given something back to CRY. I mean, I've fundraised. As I said, I'm an area representative for the West Midlands. I go out there, I do half marathons, I've done sponsored walks, I've done RAF races. I work at a boarding school, and they've embraced this fully at the school. And in the fundraising that I've done, I've actually took it over £70,000 that I've raised, and I actually pay for cardiac screenings within the West Midlands area. The school have embraced it, as I said. Every 14-year-old at the school is screened in March, and I hold a 2-day event at Aston Villa every year. Aston Villa North Stand, they're brilliant. They give me the director's boxes, and I have 200 children done there every year. I've paid now for over 1,300 children to be screened, and every single year I have major detections. And the most recent ones was, there's 2 boys at the school I've just had screened. One goes into surgery in 2 weeks' time to have major heart reconstruction of a condition he didn't know about. And at Aston Villa, I had 5 major detections that will need, well, at least 2 of them are going to need surgery. Okay, my job is to go out there. It's not so much the fundraising is great. My job is to get out there and tell you young people, tell your parents, these deaths happen. They are out there, they happen every day, and they happen every week. And I just want to make you all aware of it. Thank you for having me.